Hello, my name is David O'Brien. And I'm here for your success in the areas of purity. Hello, welcome back to the Purity Forum. My name is David O'Brien. I am your host, your teacher. I'm actually your freedom doctor and purity doctor, and I'm here on assignment today for you. And I want to talk to you again today about seduction. Does it happen in peacetime or wartime? This is part 2. Really, it happens in peacetime. You got to understand how things work. If you're in a hurricane situation on Earth, a physical hurricane, you know it's coming. It's going to destroy your house. You will immediately find your best jewels in the house, your most important things, the things you need. You'll pack them, you'll get them ready. You will put up, boards on your windows, whatever you need to reinforce what you're doing to make sure you're safe. You'll secure your environment. You'll look outside constantly to make sure, is it okay? Are we okay? It's because that is wartime. That's disruption time. That's the time where there's a big challenge and possible pain involved and loss. And you're very aware of it. You're alert automatically, naturally. This is called wartime. It could be physical war, it could be a disaster or a threat, but at that time, seduction disappears. You don't see it. The seducers, the seductresses, they are gone, thinking about themselves, scrambling for their own life, maybe hiding somewhere, but the heroes come out at that time, and you find the hero in you, and you have a passion for helping people, and you make sure to get it done. You get the work done very efficiently and well, and everyone is kept safe, hopefully, but the mission's accomplished. Peacetime, on the other hand, is, in my opinion, the greatest challenge of all. And that's when the war's over, or when there is no war, there is no problem, there is nothing to solve, nothing to fix. There's no threat, there's nothing to be consciously aware of in the physical realm around you. In that situation, social settings, social relationships, sometimes the lines, the boundaries can become a bit blurred. Responsibility can become blurred, and people can become lax. And that's when you need to be careful. This is very important and very practical what I'm sharing with you today, because this applies to every single human life. God created seasons in our lives. He created different things, times and seasons and things we go through. And he said, always be on the alert. When we're on the alert, it says, and basically in season and out of season, be ready. Be ready to input, to insert what you have to offer in life. You have good things to offer, good words to speak, a perspective from God to speak, to show with your example. And the scripture says, always be ready for the gospel, for good news, for good things. In season and out of season, whether it seems like it's needed or not, always be ready, because there will be opportunity every day, every season. And now what happens as far as the enemy's concern is, when things get comfortable, he shows up in a seductive manner or form. We mentioned on the last one, I mentioned that there's a serpent, and it can show up as a serpent or a dragon. The dragon's an intimidator. The serpent is a manipulator, a schemer. Both of these are schemes, but the serpent comes in silently and pretends to be your friend. I want to tell you something, women. Those of you who are women who in the female body out there, men, you feel like you can trust them. Before I talk about men, I want to talk about Abraham. Abraham was sent, he was asked by God, he told by God, get up, go to a place I will show you, and he obeyed. That opened him up for the greatest blessings that could ever exist. And they came from outside of this realm, outside of the human physical realm, and they came into his life forever. So obeying God's voice is the greatest thing we could ever do. He went to a land which eventually became what is now Israel. And on his way, there was treachery. There was all kinds of parts of the journey that were difficult. There was war. There were people trying to attack him, trying to steal his wife. There were all kinds of crazy things going on. But he had faith in God. And he was alert the whole time. Now, Lot, his nephew, went with him and also prospered greatly because he was connected to Abraham. But at one point, they had a conflict, and Abraham meekly, but also very keenly, he knew what he was doing before God. He said to Lot, which do you want? Look at both these. We have a lot of land here. You choose what part you want. And Lot chose by his physical eyes to go with the lush palm tree, very nice resort, all you can eat buffet land. The land that was greased, it was perfect. It was like, ooh, sunbathe every day the rest of your life land. Now, that doesn't work. And this is a secret to life you can understand, you can receive right now. And the reason why sunbathe every day in your life doesn't work is because pleasure works, it has ups and downs. If you have a certain kind of pleasure, let's say ice cream, you love ice cream, but if you eat it every meal, your ability to enjoy it will decline. That's how it works. This is how pleasure works. So the way God created seasons, spring is more pleasant than winter for most people. But you won't enjoy spring if you have it all the time. So if you live in a very resortish, in Hawaii or somewhere amazing like that, then you should leave there sometimes and go to places like Alaska just to enjoy differences. So that's just a secret I want to share with you. But listen, Lot and Abraham had this split, and Lot left, and he chose the lush, perfect, beautiful, wonderful, rich-looking land. He was thinking by physical eyes, physical riches, and he missed out on what God had for him. And what ended up happening was Abraham was on it looked like it was rocky, stony ground, but it was level ground for him, for alertness, for him and God. And Lot ended up in Sodom. He chose Sodom and Gomorrah, that area, and it was just so nice. Oh, pleasing the flesh, the physical body, the senses. But eventually, his family, his mind, his life got slaughtered. He lost his alertness. He lost his ability to work. He lost his ability to fight. He could not fight. And when he was captured one day, it took Abraham to come rescue him. So I'm sharing all this for you because when you understand these principles, you can make wise choices in your life. Never step on someone to get to where you're going. Trying to find a lush, nice place. Never disrespect people and do things like that, like Lot kind of did, because you'll end up in a place that's different than what you thought. Because there are serpents and snakes there that only you can't even see them. They're camouflaged and they show up, they bite your daughters. That's what happened with Lot. His daughters, they went down in the sexual area. I won't even get into the story. You can read it for yourself in the book in the Bible. So what matters here is choose God's best for you, his way for you. And it sometimes has a package or a container that looks camouflage. It doesn't even look like it's something you want in life. When God tells you to do something, go do it, because you'll find a mix. What seems like hard seems like wonderful. But what matters is God is in it constantly. You're in it. Your faith is in it. And your alertness is there. And then he's protecting you throughout. And the world, the human, like the physical, sensual type people, they won't choose that. They wouldn't want it. They don't want it. They think it's bad. They can't see the good in it, but you can see God in it. Now, I said I'd talk to you women about men. Boys who obviously have a lust problem, they're after you. You can tell they're just trying to trick you, get you in bed. That kind of man is obvious. You're not going to probably fall to that man. Stay away from him. But the one who comes to you and gets you a purity ring and says, we're just going to, we're going to be abstinent until marriage because I respect you. I want to make sure you're this. Test that man. Test him, because that is not wartime. That's peacetime. And there's a very good chance he's a schemer and he's after you in a worse way. And he'll leave you like a slug leaves with a trail of nastiness. Don't fall to that man.